to start the YouTube video now. Hi YouTube guys, you missed a bunch of stuff. Go to iTunes. Sorry, this is my fault. But I was just saying, now we're talking about light and shade. Go to the YouTube video right now. By the way, we're 10 minutes into it. Don't tell the YouTube guys. And if you look at the video as it is right now, I'm kind of sitting by a window, and there's this fairly harsh light coming onto my face, and I look crap. I look like crap. But a lot of it's got to do with the harshness of the light hitting me. But if I move around, I change how that looks. Oh, that's really weird. You know, and I also have a red, there's like a red curtain by the window, a drape, a sheer kind of drape, and I've kind of got to move to try and tame the light a little, which is giving me a real red tinge. And almost have like a red halo around me, actually. Which is to say, I probably did a lousy, lousy job of taming the light. But that's, see how the light's hitting me, and behind me is the dark, and that's the shade. And on one side of the face, it's too bright. On the other side of the face, I'm too pink. And that's the light and the shade. So how you control the light. Artists control light and shade. Even if you're painting, I mean, we all did it. We created a little cube, and then you shade in not the front version to make it look three-dimensional. That's light and shade. The front, the square, which is really what we're drawing, is the light. The shade is the three-dimensional part. So how the light hits an object, how the shade, how it responds to its shade, is how it comes to life in art. And that's what Jimmy Page is always talking about with light and shade. He's trying to bring the songs to life. He's trying to hit it with light from a certain angle, approach it from a certain way. And I'm not doing a good job, and I understand it, but damn it if I can figure out exactly how to explain it. And I suspect if I asked Jimmy Page this question, when I get to interview him now, yeah, I keep telling myself I'm going to talk to him. Oh yeah, it's going to happen. Robert Plant first off, because Robert Plant's emailed me telling me how much he likes the podcast. Hey, I got through that with a straight face. So, I don't know if Jimmy talks about the light and shade, and I think that's the best as he can do to explain it, you know. I don't know that he can really, it's something, but if you go to an art gallery and look at the paintings and look for the light, look for how the shade falls off the light, look at the dark spots, the light spots, and look how they create, how much different that is from just a basic pencil drawing with no shading. You know, you're going to have to use your imagination here. That's what Jimmy Page is talking about with light and shade. So the autobiography falls under the category of, instead of just writing an autobiography, I was 7 and I did this, I did that, my first guitar was this, my Uncle Harry took me to the chip shop and taught me to play, you know, what was it, Keith Richards, 2 chapters of crossing the river to go to the chip shop. Who liked the Keith Richards book? No, not me. Not me. I didn't. I never got to the bit. I mean, I read that thing, and I think I've 3 times tried it. And you read, and you never get to the bit where he's playing in the Rolling Stones. It just goes on forever about nonsense. And everybody else, oh, it's a great book. Ah, Christ, it needed an editor. Whole chapters needed to be just slashed out of that thing. Right, your Uncle Harry taught you to play guitar. Good. Moving on. You know, post-war Britain, we got a little picture of, okay, good, Uncle Harry, good. Here's your mom, here's your dad, here's you in shorts, good. Click. Meet Mick Jagger. You know what I mean? And you're on the railway station, boom, you're playing at the clubs. Now, let's slow it down and talk. That's the way an autobiography should work. That's just 150 pages of childhood memories. Look at me, I'm getting bored. I'm picking up the album. So I'm looking forward to the book and looking at this preview video, which you can link. It's linked to at ramblerradio.com. It looks like a lot of great pictures. It looks really interesting. So I'm looking forward to that one big time. I'm telling you, buy the Robert Plant book. Robert Plant, by the way, is playing a surprise show tomorrow night. It was announced like 5 days ago. It's $125 a ticket. If you got a ticket, tickets were on sale yesterday. If you got a ticket, congratulations, by the way, because there's only 800 people. But it's a surprise show. Shh, don't tell anyone. Don't. All those people who spent $125 on tickets for bowling. Shh, Robert Plant's gonna be there. Yeah, it's not a surprise show. And I'm not blaming Robert Plant on this one. Some promo guy somewhere has got a hold of this, and it's not a surprise show. Surprise show is, holy shit, that's Robert Plant on stage. I'll tell you a story. Back in 1977, the Rolling Stones played locally at the El Mocambo in Toronto. They were recording for their Love You Live album. Local radio station was doing had a contest giveaway. Saturday night, a party with the Rolling Stones will be there. It'll be a party. You had to do this, you had to do that, you had to do the other. Come out for a party with the Rolling Stones. They're advertising. Friday night was billed as April Wine. April Wine was at the El Mocambo Friday night, Saturday night, which was a decent band. That would have been a big catch. They weren't what they were. They had actually had a couple of hits. They had a couple of good albums, and then they had fallen off so they were kind of a band on the way down, and they managed to pick themselves back up and become a stadium rocking band. But they were playing before that. For instance, they had played Massey Hall, which is where Robert Plant played a couple of weeks ago. So, they were that size of a band. And then all of a sudden, so they're doing these gigs at the El Mocambo. So my brother and his friend were going to go down to the El Mocambo and see April Wine. They talked about it. It was, well, we kind of lived in the suburbs, so it was 45 minutes out of your way, and you're talking about having a few drinks when you're there, and that's a pain in the ass a bit. So they didn't go. Of course, April Wine was the opening act for the Rolling Stones. Everybody went to see April Wine, got the Rolling Stones. That is a surprise gig. That's a surprise gig. Now, the Saturday night, everybody, A, knew the Rolling Stones were going to be at the El Mocambo. B, the only people who could get in were the people who had won the contest with the radio station. So that was how they handled it. But they got 2 nights of recording in, but that was a surprise show. Surprise shows aren't when you advertise a week in advance and charge $125 for a ticket. That's just a gig on short notice. That said, Robert Plant is playing for approximately 800 people at a smallish club / bowling alley. I love that bit. Hey, go at 9 o'clock, bowl a few, and then go catch the show, right? Opening set by DJ Questlove, who, that means nothing to me. But tickets were on sale yesterday, $125, and you had to get them yesterday. They're sold out now. Their advertising sold out. It was fairly short notice in terms of the tickets you get, because there's only 800, and you could buy 4 each. You could buy 4, however, they were non-transferable. So the person who ordered the tickets has to go to the show. But so how many people do you think ordered 4? How many think you got a couple of friends said, so really 200, maybe 350, 400 people got tickets for 800 people to be at the show. Could conceivably be only 2 or 225 actually got tickets. The vast majority of people ordered 4. Who knows? I would have ordered 1 because if it's short notice, I'm not risking $125 that I'm going to find somebody else to go. But I don't live in New York as well, right? So who knows? But anyway, if you got tickets to go see Robert, I'm thinking, by the way, that this isn't going to be the standard set. I'm sure he'll do his weird version of Black Dog, and I'm sure he'll do Rainbow and Little Maggie and the stuff he's been doing. But it's just because it's this kind of a show, what it is, small venue, smallish crowd, a little more personable. Would it shock you if he pulled out some old rockers? I'm not thinking he pulled out In My Time of Dying. Has Jimmy show up to help him do it or something? Yeah, I'm not thinking that. Not Led Zeppelin stuff necessarily, but maybe some old stuff he hasn't played in a while from his solo works. Maybe it's the night to pull out, Fool in the Rain even, like he did with Pearl Jam. But I would be more expecting that he'll pull out some old blues, old rockabilly, old rockers that you haven't heard in quite a while, if ever, and perform live. Just one of those things, you know. You know, that's what that's my guess. That's my guess. You'll get a standard show plus a couple of throw-in songs that are a surprise. Okay, now that the video's gone, Jimmy Page mug. There you go, Jimmy Page. You can see how the light affects. See how you can't see. Look at this. This is a great example. You really can't see the lights throwing off. Then we get it into the shade, and you can see quite clearly what's going on there. And move it around a bit, and the way the shade affects. See the shade on this side, the light on this side. How that changes the dynamic of the whole thing. That's what Jimmy's talking about. Just saying. Just saying. All right, topic du jour. It was on this weekend-ish. 10 days from now, actually. Next weekend-ish. 15 years ago, Jimmy Page was touring with the Black Crowes. If you go back 15 years to today, they probably did a show. They had been touring for a little while, and they toured well into 2000. This is October 1999. But on October 18th and 19th, they played the Greek Theater in Los Angeles and recorded an album. I've talked about the album before. I'm not going to go too in-depth on the album for a couple of reasons. Not the least of which is, this is my record store vinyl edition, by the way. Nice in their covers. I'm showing the inner cover. I'm going to show the record store. This is the white vinyl. Actually, this isn't the record store one. This is the one that was out before the record store. I noticed it recently called Rare. I don't think it is, actually. I think that's just somebody trying to make a quick buck. The record store version was red, white, and blue, I think. But anyway, there it is. Jimmy Page, Black Crowes, live at the Greek. All right, good night, bye. The thing of it is, by the way, if you want to see the shows, the whole shows, go to YouTube. If you guys on YouTube, just wait till this is over, then hit that little search button. But go to YouTube and search Jimmy Page and Black Crowes Greek Theater, and you will get both nights, the entire show, camera shot from the crowd. They're there. And the intro, you heard in the intro, and I will outro with some of it too, Hot Song for Nowhere from the shows. The reason I played that is because it didn't make it onto the album. And actually, they may not be from that show. I'm trying to remember now. It may be from a different show. Maybe it wasn't one of those two. No, Hot Song for Nowhere is not on my set list. So it was from another night, but I decided. I was going to go with Hard to Handle because it didn't make it onto the album. But then I found that and thought, it's just good. So, what I couldn't find was, excuse me, what I couldn't find was Hard to Handle, just the Hard to Handle from the nights, a video of, so I could download it and play it. So that's what I ended up finding as a single song that wasn't on the set. Now I could have dug into the, like I say, I actually downloaded both videos. I could have dug into those, but I didn't. There you go. So anyway, but not everything they played made it on to the album. And they did not record one that, for some reason I had it in my records, and I have no idea where I got the information. October 18th was the night they recorded, but it's clear from the set list from the two nights that they recorded both nights. And I'll give you an example. Now the set list doesn't change much, and when it changes, it's a straight up change. It's a one song for another change, so they don't move songs around. They either play, for instance, 10 Years Gone, they play both nights, they play it in the same place. They play it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th. Both nights. 8th song, both nights. All the way through. The last song, you know, the ending goes, last 5 songs are Heartbreaker, Hey, Hey, What Can I Do? A Variable. Out in the Tiles, Whole Lot of Love. And the variables are Oh Well or You Shook Me. Both of which, so that's the way it works, right? So the set lists are the set list. Let me give you the set list from the two nights. Night 1 is Celebration Day, Custard Pie, Sick Again, No Speak, No Slave, What Is and What Should Never Be, Wiser Time, Mellow Down Easy, 10 Years Gone, In My Time of Dying, Your Time Is Gonna Come, Remedy. The Lemon Song, Shake Your Money Maker, Shapes of Things, Nobody's Fault But Mine, Heartbreaker, Hey Hey, What Can I Do, Oh Well, Out on the Tiles, and Whole Lot of Love. On the second night, it starts the same. Celebration Day, Custer Pie, Sick Again, No Speak, No Slave, What Is, Should Never Be. The sixth song would be Hard to Handle instead of Wiser Time. Seventh song would be Woke Up This Morning instead of Mellow Down Easy. 10 Years Gone, In My Time of Dying, Your Time's Gonna Come, Remedy. 11th song, instead of Shake Your Money Maker, we get Sloppy Drunk. Shapes of Things, Nobody's Fault But Mine, Heartbreaker, Hey Hey What Can I Do. Instead of Oh Well, we get You Shook Me, Out on the Tiles, and Whole Lotta Love. Alright, so that's, you kind of hear how on 1, 2, 3 different occasions they swap out a song, one song for another. Otherwise the same set list both nights. However, neither Wiser Time nor Hard to Handle make the album. So 4 times they do that, sorry. And then the other 6 songs that they swap out, all 6 of those make the album. No Speak, No Slave, and Remedy also doesn't make the album. So of the songs they played that night, No Speak, No Slave, Wiser Time, Hard to Handle, and Remedy don't make the album. And the album does mix around somewhat. It throws, for instance, Shapes of Things from towards the end to towards the beginning. There's, you know, all sorts of moving around. Some songs, the song they played 6th, Mellow Down Easy, the first night, they played 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. On the second night, they played Woke Up This Morning. Woke Up This Morning gets slotted in behind What Is, What Not Should Never Be, where it kind of goes. Mellow Down Easy goes down to the bottom. It's in the last 5 songs, sort of thing. So here's how it rates. Here's how it goes. Celebration Day, Custer Pie, Sick Again, just as they did all 3 nights. What Is and What Should Never Be. Only thing different in there from both nights is No Speak, No Slave, is cut out between Sick Again and What Is and What Should Never Be. So Celebration Day, Custer Pie, Sick Again, What Is and What Should Never Be. Woke Up This Morning from the second night, Shapes of Things, Sloppy Drunk from the second night, 10 Years Gone. In My Time of Dying, Your Time Is Gonna Come. And that's pretty much in order. The Zeppelin stuff kind of goes in order. It's the other stuff they move around a bit. The Lemon Song, Nobody's Fault But Mine, Heartbreaker. Hey Hey, What Can I Do? Mellow Down Easy, which is from the first night, but it's early. It's like the 5th song on the first night. Oh Well, which is from the first night, and it's like the 3rd last song, so it's moved out a bit. Shake Your Money Maker, which comes from earlier in the set on the first night. And then You Shook Me, Out on the Tiles, Whole Lotta Love, which is the final set of the second night. Okay? Got that? No, I don't either. But anyway, so that's how it goes. Again, no, I'm not going to go. So the highlights, this is a great album. If you've never done it, pick it up. It's available on iTunes. You don't have to get the vinyl. It's on CD. I think I told the story before. We're in the 90s is my, I'm kind of a little lost on music. I'm doing some, I get a lot of promo material for stuff that's about to be released and whatnot. And a couple 2 weeks ago, I got a new Smashing Pumpkins, their legendary Smashing Pumpkins album from 1994. So I'm sitting down to review it. I kind of put stuff on CD, and I'm sitting down to review it. And I've never heard of this album. I've not heard of any songs in this album. This legendary rock album. They're remastering, re-releasing, remastering with bonus material, etc., etc. And I've never heard it. So it's just, and that's just the case of that's my time to not hear. And I had kids. I had a mortgage. I was working like 60 hours a week, and we had our first house. We were 2 years maybe into our first house. Well, by 1999, we were, I was actually the second house. You know what had happened? We started to get our money under our feet, and then we got the second house, which is this one. And but we had 2 kids by then. My son was 2, 2.5. My daughter was 5. So she was going to school. He was a handful. We were working like crazy. Busy people, and I didn't have time to stop and go like I do now. We didn't have the internet we did have the internet. Yeah, I certainly had the internet by the time I moved to this house, but it was really it was primitive compared to what it is now. The information was there, but it was harder to find and stuff. But more importantly, hey, 30 minutes, we hit the 30-minute mark. But I was out of touch with it. So I had no idea Jimmy Page was even recording with the Black Crowes. Was touring with the Black Crowes. Year and a half the guy toured. I never once heard this. So I'm not buying much in the way of records or CDs and stuff, because it's more than just, for one, they're $20, right? Which then it's as if they're $35 now. It's like the price of an album now, and I still don't have a lot of cash, right? So it's a real treat to just buy a video or to buy a CD is an absolute treat. So but we go to the mall. You know, you got kids. What do? You go to the mall. You got to take them out somewhere. Push them around the mall. They always need clothes and stuff. So I'm in the HMV. What the hell is this? It's CD, right? What's this? By the way, you know, I picked this one up here. Tears for Fears. Tears for Fears from the 80s. They're re-releasing that as a deluxe 4 CD set. Got a review copy of it. And that's just the first CD. I've not got the other 3 moved over to disc yet. So I find this. I'm just drawing this. Oh shit, Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes. I like the Black Crowes. Now this is one band I managed to pick up on in the 90s. A bit. You know. The Black Crowes. Oh, I like the Black Crowes. I love Jimmy Page. So you pick it up and you're looking at it and you're going, holy cow, these are all like Zeppelin songs. Oh. I mean, you kind of, it's probably 20, it's a double CD, so it's probably $25, maybe 20, or, you know, and I know the wife, I remember distinctly the wife coming looking over my shoulder going, oh, for God's sakes, buy it. You don't buy yourself very much. And you go, oh, I don't have much money. You know, we don't really have the money for this. No, buy it. Just buy it. And I remember getting it home and being blown away. Putting it on the CD player. I think I put it on in the car. I probably drove to work, listened to it. It's probably, you know, because kids were always watching videos and stuff. So you're going to work, you put it in. But I remember putting it in. I remember listening to it going, oh my God, is this good? It's really one of those real, it's, you know, I just love when that happens. It's a real treat to find. And even after buying it, you kind of think to yourself, oh, yeah, I mean, Chris Robinson's no Robert Plant. Like him or don't, but he's no Robert Plant. Is this going to work? By God, it works so well. And there are some real highlights. I think it's kind of what I'm getting. And I made a note of a couple of them from, I listened to it last night. Sick Again is great. His voice just suits Sick Again so well, and as a band with 3 guitars just kind of crunching that out, it really, really works. Shapes of Things is another one, surprisingly, well, because the Zeppelin, that really, really works with him. And Nobody's Fault. And in-tune guitars that are actually been tuned properly. That makes Shapes of Things a whole different song from what you know and I know. And Nobody's Fault But Mine. It's just a absolute treat to listen to on this album. Downsides, not a lot of downs, by the way. They do roll out some old bluesy stuff that, I could live without. But it's not, oh, I hate this stuff. Oh, 10 Years Gone is another real highlight in this. It's so good. Disappointing is In My Time of Dying. And it's just, they pull in the 2 or 3 guitars and they try to crunch it. And the guitars don't always sound like they're meshing on this particular song. The tones of this, you know, Page always did it as a 1-guitar song, and he always got the kind of big tone. And in this case, he doesn't do that. And the tone is just, doesn't sound, it doesn't gel the way it should. So you lose some of that kind of real emotional impact of the slide. But that's a guitar player talking. Who listens for this sort of stuff. But I just thought that was a bit of a disappointment, as it's a song I particularly love, and I know live has really got impact. But there you go. Alright, so that's going to be it for episode number 73. Sorry, YouTube guys, you missed the first 10 minutes. And we had a nice little chat during the intro, I tell you that right now. Check rambleonradio.com for notes on this week's podcast, Led Zeppelin news, reviews, and any links I might have mentioned in today's show, and I don't think I did. Follow Ramble on Radio on Facebook, Google+, and at Ramble on Blog on Twitter. Talk to me, people. I try. I try to get back to you. You can subscribe to Ramble on Radio through iTunes and leave a review. Makes them notice me. Listen on Spreaker. Everybody, go to Spreaker. Follow me. And check it out at Ramble on Radio on YouTube. Thanks for listening to Ramble on Radio, episode number 73. Keep it cool, babies.